ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਸਕੂਲ ਬੋਰਡ ਇਸ ਸਕੂਲ ਵਰੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਇਨ ਪਰਸਨ ਤੌਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੈ। 12 ਅਗਸਤ ਤੱਕ ਰਜਿਸਟਰ ਕਰਵਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ 86% ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀ ਇਨ ਪਰਸਨ ਕਲਾਸਾਂ ਲਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਕਲਾਸਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਯਕੀਨੀ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਬੋਰਡ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਹੈਲਥ ਤੇ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੋਕੋਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਪਡੇਟ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ।
Important, especially for the 9-year-old, I think, to be attending class in person. Virtual school last year was really challenging for him.
Our goal for this coming school year is no school interruptions. We certainly do want to see children in in-person learning. We know that there are many, many benefits beyond public health benefits for having children learning in school.
We are still confirming other pieces ahead of the school year, but so far we can tell people that masks will be required for all students JK to 12, not just 1 to 12, as indicated by the ministry. With regard to lunch, I can tell you that elementary students will continue to eat lunch in their classrooms. As far as recess, they'll be continuing to take breaks and be outside with cohorts while physical distancing. Those are a few of the tweaks that we've made from the ministry guidelines and that may be a bit different this year in September. Ministry is providing direction for the entire province. We've been working with Toronto Public Health, who recommended some additional precautions just based on the fact that Toronto is one of the centers for COVID-19.
People are at different levels and different needs. So I believe there needs to be a plan where teachers who cannot be vaccinated for medical, as well as for reasons of conscience or religion, could then have the option to be tested and regularly tested.
ਜਿਣਸੀ ਸ਼ੋਸ਼ਣ ਦੇ ਦੋਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਘਿਰੇ ਮੇਜਰ ਜਨਰਲ ਡੈਨੀ 14 ਅਦਾਲਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੇਸ਼ ਹੋਏ ਅਤੇ 14 ਨੂੰ ਰਸਮੀ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਚਾਰਜ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਇਹ ਮਾਮਲਾ ਜਨਵਰੀ 1988 ਦਾ ਹੈ। 14 ਨੇ ਕੋਰੋਨਾ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਟਾਸਕ ਫੋਰਸ ਦੇ ਮੁਖੀ ਵਜੋਂ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ। ਜਿਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਇਹ ਦੋਸ਼ ਲਗਾਏ ਗਏ ਤਾਂ 14 ਨੂੰ ਅਹੁਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਂਭੇ ਹੋਣਾ ਪਿਆ।
I was told then that I was under investigation for some form of sexual misconduct alleged to have occurred more than 30 years ago. I learned about the general nature of the allegation from a reporter shortly after I was relieved from my job. For the past 3 months, my family and I have been living this nightmare of not knowing the nature of the allegation, not knowing the status of the investigation, not knowing whether or not I'd be charged. My legal team has repeatedly contacted prosecutors to seek any information with no success. So I've been forced to read much about me in media with no ability or no outlet to defend my name. On Monday, I was contacted by the Canadian Forces National Investigation Service, who asked that I be here today in order to be arrested. This arrest warrant was a total surprise. I am reluctantly and at my own expense forced to pursue 2 forms of legal redress. The first, to vigorously defend myself against the charge laid today in criminal court. And second, as a federal court, to consider the lack of due process accorded me throughout this ordeal. As the acting chief of defense staff told me, confirmed in his personal notes, the decision to remove me was a result of a political calculus.
ਹਾਲ ਹੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਦਾ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਮੱਦੇਨਜ਼ਰ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਗਤੀਵਿਧੀਆਂ ਵਧਾ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਮਹਾਮਾਰੀ ਦੇ ਮੱਦੇਨਜ਼ਰ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਪ੍ਰਕਿਰਿਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਦਲਾਅ ਕੀਤਾ।
Electors who vote by mail are responsible for ensuring that their ballot is returned in time. They should check Canada Post schedules for their region. If they are concerned about their ballot not arriving in time, they can bring it to their polling station on election day, or they can have a friend or neighbor bring it. The important thing is that it is brought at a polling station within their electoral district. It's also important to note that by law, electors who apply to vote by mail cannot simply change their mind later on and vote another way. If they have a problem with their kit, if they have not received their kit, they should contact us, and again, we'll find a way to make sure that they can vote, but they cannot simply change their mind. So I encourage electors to plan early and choose the voting option that works best for them. Now, I know that Canadians are used to getting complete results on election night, but it will be different for this election. The count of regular ballots on ordinary polling day and advance polls will be completed on the night of the election as usual. However, the count of mail-in ballots will start after Election Day once all the mail-in ballots that electors have dropped off at polling stations have been returned and integrity checks have been performed. If the volume of mail-in ballots is high, as we've seen in other jurisdictions during the pandemic, it will take longer for returning officers to count those ballots. In most locations, this should be done within 2 days, but in some districts, it could take as long as 5 days, depending on the volume and the distribution. In all cases, the vote can be observed, the count can be observed by candidates from beginning to end, from candidate representatives, and daily result updates will be published. With the changes to the process, getting accurate information about the election has never been so important.
ਇਨੇ ਦਿਨੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਰੀ ਗਰਮੀ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਰ ਵੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਹਿੱਸਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਗ ਨੇ ਕਹਿਰ ਮਚਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਕਲਾਈਮੇਟ ਚੇਂਜ ਦੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਤੇ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਨਵੀਂ ਰਣਨੀਤੀ ਬਣਾਏ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ ਚੁਣੌਤੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ.
I know this has been a really tough time for people across the province, not just because of COVID-19, but you've seen the record-breaking heat waves. We've seen communities like Lytton destroyed by wildfires. The air has all too often been orange, even here in the Lower Mainland. So now, more than ever, we have to have each other's backs. But of course, I don't need to tell you that, because when this pandemic struck, when the wildfires hit, British Columbians knew exactly what to do. To fight COVID-19, people stepped up and got vaccinated. And of course, if you haven't yet gotten vaccinated, please do. It's the way we get through this. It's the way we protect each other. And to fight wildfires, emergency crews stepped up to the plate as communities put together fundraisers. You all did your part. So we're going to keep doing ours. This fire season has been one of the worst on record. It's clear we need more people and more resources to fight these wildfires and keep communities safe. So that's exactly what we're ready to deliver. A re-elected Liberal government will invest $500 million ahead of the next fire season for the firefighters and equipment provinces need. To begin with, we'll train at least 1,000 more firefighters in communities across the country who'll be able to mobilize right away when a major burn starts. We know communities could have used more hands this year, so when next year comes around, this training means teams will be ready and complete. We'll also support Indigenous-led fire crews. They have the knowledge about how to best protect their land and are on the front lines fighting these blazes every summer. The other way we'll keep communities safe is by investing hundreds of millions of dollars more for provinces to buy firefighting equipment, from water bombers to helicopters to other critical rescue supplies.
ਤਾਲਿਬਾਨ ਨੇ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਅਸ਼ਰਫ ਗਨੀ ਦੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਛੱਡ ਜਾਣ ਉਪਰੰਤ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਭਵਨ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਬਜ਼ਾ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ। ਰੱਖਿਆ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸੱਜਣ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਾਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਿਆਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਅਜਿਹੇ ਹਾਲਾਤਾਂ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਆ ਦੇਣ ਲਈ ਵਚਨਬੱਧ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਛੇਤੀ ਤੋਂ ਛੇਤੀ ਦੇਸ਼ ਛੱਡ ਰਹੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਆ ਦੇਣ ਲਈ ਯਤਨਸ਼ੀਲ ਹੈ।
Situation on the ground. We have been in Afghanistan for some time, making sure that our embassy staff stayed safe and been monitoring the situation all the way through. The changes in the security situation has almost been daily. And as you know, what took place at the Ishkai airport after the Taliban came into the city made it untenable for us to continue those flights. Having said this, we have worked very closely with our allies, and I've spoken with Secretary Austin and Secretary Wallace and to be able to reestablish the security in the air bridge. So that is being done at this moment. What we're doing right now is, once that security is established, get our people on the ground and to be able to not only reestablish the air bridge, is to making sure that we can start bringing people back.
How many flights are needed?
Well, this is what we're doing. We're going to be focused on getting as many flights out as possible.
But how many are needed to get everybody out?
So what our goal is right now is based on, regardless of the time, we want to work on as every flight as possible. So the military teams,
so you don't know
coordination center. No, but this is an important point. We're trying to maximize every flight that goes in, minimize the time that's on the ground to be able to go out, so we can move as many flights.
And why
so we don't have the
Canada
exact
not in yet when other
calculation
countries
on
are?
that. So no, we've been actually working very closely with our allies on this. So it's not about being, when we talk about being, we've been working very closely from day one and coordinate the work. So this is about a unified effort so that we can actually bring people out. And as the Prime Minister stated, because of the security situation inside Kabul, it's actually, the issue has been getting to the airport. One thing that we're going to continue to do is look at every possibility. So because the situation is changing,
but you don't have any numbers yet on how many flights are needed, on when they will land, even though other planes are landing.
No, what we got to be focused on right now is trying to create every opportunity to get all the people out that it's HKI Airport. Any opportunity that we have also to be able to bring other interpreters in that are in.
रानी